Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and I am going to be taking on a puzzle by Joseph Neumann today, and that always requires a fanfare because his puzzles are never very easy and they're often very difficult, and we will see how we go. Well, we will see how we go and come, as it's called, va-et-vient, and that makes me think. Yes, I think this is true. In French, they say go and come, whereas in English, we normally say come and go in phrases. I mean, there's not just the title of this puzzle, there's also the lyrics of Je t'aime, je vais et je viens, I believe. Anyway, enough philosophizing about idioms in French and English. Let's tell you what's going on the channel, where we have, of course, the marvellous CTC Snake Egg collection of puzzles by Glum Hippo. On Patreon, check those out. They are well worth a bit of your time. Fantastic collection of puzzles. Do check those out. There's also, of course, loads of other content on Patreon all the time. We're very happy to bring you more stuff on Patreon every month. And we think it makes it more than worth the $2 or $3 a month cost. Also more valuable than their price, surely, the CTC apps. Check out the links under our video. We have Killer Sudoku, we have Line Sudoku, just like today's puzzle. And there are many other apps as well, and they are great for practicing your Sudoku techniques. Now, what else do we have? We have, of course, Sven's SUDOKU PAD, brilliant piece of software, and our merchandise. All on links under the video, but the first link is to this puzzle, Va-et-vient, by Joseph Neumann. I presume Joseph is a fluent French speaker. I think he's Lebanese. And I don't know what that implies for the likelihood of him speaking French and English, because although I have visited Lebanon and been to the world's oldest populated city, Byblos, there. I don't remember whether everybody spoke French, but I'm guessing they do now. Anyway, normal Sudoku rules apply. So we'll be putting 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box of the grid. Renban rules mean that along the purple lines, there is a sequence of consecutive numbers in some order, in any order, not necessarily in ascending or descending order. But you must form a sequence along a purple line. Along a green line, any two neighbouring digits have to have a difference of at least 5. And we only actually have 3 lines in this puzzle. It looks like more. The cages do not contain repeat digits, but add up to the number given. So 4 different digits in this cage add up to 19. Those are the rules. Joseph has generously given us 2 given digits, as well as a few cages in columns 3, 4, 6, and 7. And I can see that if he hadn't given us the given digits, columns 1 and 2 and columns 8 and 9 would be ambiguous. Anyway, I'm sure that's not the only reason he's given us given digits. Everything is very carefully thought out in a Joseph Neumann puzzle, as I am about to discover, and as you can discover if you click on the link first below the video and play the puzzle before watching my solve. But if you're doing that, let's get cracking. So, where do we start? Well, the purple lines are 9 cells long. I can tell that because they go from the top of the grid to the bottom. So they are basically extra regions in the sense of they contain all the digits 1 to 9 once each. Okay, along a green line, the rules that, or the standards that apply are, you can never put a 5 on a green line. There's no possible neighbouring digit. 4 and 6, which only have each 1 possible neighbouring digit, can only appear in cells where their neighbours can't see each other, as it were. And I think on this line, those are those 4 cells. And finally, the digits must alternate between high and low to maintain this difference of 5. Now, I don't know which are high and which are low on this line, but I'm going to colour them. Oh, what colours am I using? I don't know. I'm going to colour them green and bright blue, because these must be the alternations. I mean, I don't know. it's not enough in any column. I mean, okay, it is interesting. In column 5, those 4 are either the 4 high digits or the 4 low digits in that column. But, okay, and the extreme, the monogamous digit, the 6 or 4, must be in one of those cells. And that is because, yeah, okay, the 6 or 4 must be in one of those cells because it can't be here or here because of the neighbours seeing each other rule. And therefore, one of these cells, both of the neighbours it sees are extreme digits, 1 or 9. And that means this cell is either a 1 or a 9. Now, if it's a 9, there's a lot of ways of filling the 24 cage. If it is a 1, on the other hand, these digits would have to be 9, 8, and 6. Remember, they have to be different from each other. And they would then have to add up to 23, which is interesting, but it doesn't feel conclusive. Also, if there was a 1 there, oh no, I was going to say 1 couldn't appear in the 17 cage. That's not true, and it doesn't matter. Now, something else I've just thought of is about adding up all of the cages in columns 3 and 4, and then doing the same for 6 and 7. Now, the reason for that is because of a secret I know that I occasionally share with my favourite friends, and for the purposes of this video, that's you. And the secret is that every row, column and box in a Sudoku adds up to the same number. That number is always 45, because that's what 1 to 9 add up to. So we know that all of these cells add up to 2 lots of 45. That's 90. Now, we just add up these ones, and they seem to make 82. And that means these 2 red cells add up to 8, because that's the difference between 82 and 90. Let's do it on the other side in case it's a better total. 60, 86, it is a better total. These 2 purple cells add up to 4. Just checking my maths. Right. Oh, well, then we're in business, because this one is 1, 2, or 3, and is therefore low. And we know that the green digits are low. And we know that these formerly bright blue digits are high. They're going orange. This one is therefore a 1. One of these 2 is a 6. The other orange digits are 7, 8, 9. One of these 2 is a 1, but the given digit is telling us which one. It's there. And therefore this is a 6, and that's not. That's not a 1 also, since we put a 1 in the grid. And it adds up to 4 with this digit, which is now 2 or 1. And I could colour that blue as well. I have a feeling I'm not going to go very far outside these columns with the colouring. But anyway, this is 2, 3, or 4. Let's fill that in. Oh, it can't be 4 in this cell in row 3, column 4, because those 2 see each other, so they can't both be 9. Now we've got a 2, 3 pair in box 1. To my slight surprise. It's interesting how much more helpful that total was than these 2 reds adding up to 8. But there we go. In fact, this red now sees that 2, 3 pair and a 1. So it is 4, 5, 6, or 7. And this one is 4, 3, 2, or 1. Let's see, I could colour that blue. I'm going to leave the red colouring in because of the relationship between those 2 cells. And I do want to mention that it was important that they could both be 4s, because one's often inclined, when you come up with this sort of relationship and you see that 2 cells in the grid add up to 8, and you're doing a killer puzzle, you're often inclined to leave out 4 plus 4 as one of the possibilities, because it couldn't be that within a cage or within a row or a column or a box. But of course, these 2 cells have no such constraint upon them. Anyway, that's just technique advice that you didn't ask for and you may not have wanted. Now, we've got that 2, 3 pair. I mean, this is good progress for a Joseph Namer puzzle. There's just a Sudoku move of putting a 1 here. That's where the 1 goes in column 5. And that's our first digit on a renban. It's a pity it's not on this renban, or we could fill in this digit. But there we go. We couldn't really expect that. I mean, okay, this is actually 4 or 5. It sees all the high digits in its column. It sees 1, 2, 3 in its box. So that is 4 or 5. We have 2, 3, 4, and 5 to place in these cells. I have less information about how they're distributed, but we are getting quite a constrained set in the bottom row, maybe? Not really. But can we think about this Renban, please? Because now we know where 1 and 2 of these very low digits go. I don't think we're going to get very far thinking about that one after all. Now, oh, this 1 went in that 24 cage, which I was so excited about earlier and forgot about immediately afterwards. So they're 9, 8, and 6, and we're getting a bit of a triple going on here. That can't be 6 by Sudoku because of the box. I'm sort of thinking, no, okay, here's the simpler version of this question. Where does 1 go in this column? Oh, well, I was thinking it can't go here by Sudoku, or here by the pencil marks, or here by Sudoku. It's quite difficult to put it in the 26 cage, especially as that is no more than 4, because that would require the other 2 digits in the 26 cage to add up to at least 21. That ain't going to happen. So in fact, 1 in the column is either there, which is where I thought I was going to place it, but of course it can be here. But I am sort of wondering about the digits in these columns. Do we need a 9 in the 26 cage, in which case it'll be the second 9 in the 2 columns? We do, because the maximum these could be otherwise are 8, 7, 6. And that could only add up to a total of 25 at the max. So there is a 9 in the 26 cage, and there's clearly a 9 in the 24 cage. So there are no 9s in the 19 or 17 cage, which is hardly a daring revelation, but, you know, it's still true. I don't know. I think this is getting trickier now, actually. I mean, not that it has been a walk in the park to this point, literally. Not literally, figuratively. Oh. I suspect there is a Sudoku. Okay, that can't be a 7, because one of those has to be a 3. That's more a German whisper trick than a Sudoku trick. I don't know. 8, I think, was close enough that it doesn't have to be in this cage. If this was 9, 7, 6, that adds up to 22, and that could be a 4, and that would make up the total. So that doesn't force 8 into this cage. Okay, one of these two is a 7. And that means that one of these two is a 2. And that is quite interesting. That's a nice trick. Because one of those two being a 2 means this cell can't be a 2 because it's seen by both of them. So one of these is a 7. Okay, what that means, and let me be a little more precise, because of the German whisper line, is that at least one of these two must be a 2. They could both be 2s. But either way round, if at least one of them is a 2, that cell is not a 2. That's a 3. That's a 2. This is a 1 because the 2 purple cells were going to add up to 4. So we placed the 1. Now the 17 cage doesn't have a 1 in it, and that's not very exciting. I thought it might be, but it isn't. This is not a 3 anymore. Now, did that get us anything else? Not really. I can remove the purpleness. Oh, that's not a 1, so this other red isn't a 7. not uninteresting. I don't know, the Renbans. I haven't thought about the Renbans in a while. Well, we've now put a 1 on this Renban. There was nowhere that could have had a 1 anywhere. There's not much. There's only, in fact, the only absolute digit on either of the Renbans is a single 1. Maybe I should just be doing a bit of Sudoku on 1s. We get a 1 in one of those cells. Should I be thinking about 1s in this column? I don't want to, because I don't think they're very constrainable, so maybe not. No, okay. No Sudoku on 1s. 2 is in one of those cells for definite, in box 5. 3, don't know. The remaining cage totals, apart from that 26, are very, very middly. The average Sudoku digit is a 5. So the average total for a 4-cell cage is 20. And the others are all 19, 21 or 22, apart from this 17. Does that make it something that I can focus on and start eliminating high digits out of? I don't think it is. Okay, if this was a 2, these are 9, 8, 7. If it's a 4, well, then they're either 9, 7, 6 or 9, 8, 5. Oh, I've just noticed, because that can't be a 6, there is a definite 6 in one of those cells. Where's 6 on this Renban? It's either there or there. I don't think there are any other candidates, given that there's a 6 in one of those 2 cells. So one of those 2 is a 6. That's sort of interesting. I'm going to give them a colour, because that's an odd relationship or optionality. One of those is a 6. If it was here, you could have 4, 9, 7, and that would be a 9. Or you couldn't have a 2. So if that was a 6, this would be a 4, that would be a 9. You'd have 3 and 1 in the column. The other digits to put in the column are 2, 5, 7, and 8. I think 2 would have to be here, although I'm not sure about that. Now, what was this posited on? 6 here, and that's a 4. And these are a 9, 7 pair, so that's a 6, 8 pair. And we've had 1. So the other digits in the column would be 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think there's a lot of ways of doing that. So, yeah, I'm left a little bit stuck on... Okay, if this was a 4, which is going to ease this cage, it's really not going to ease that cell. That's interesting. Because if this is a 4, that is a 9, definitely. And then you've got 8 here and 7 here. And that might have some impact. 4 there, which puts 9 there. That also puts 9 here. These two have to add up to 13, not being a 4-9 pair. Okay, what else does this do? 4 there puts 9 there, which puts 8 here and 7 here. Then you get 9 there, and that forces that to be a 9. So all of these highlighted cells would have become 9s at that point in the 4 world. I honestly don't know whether I'm inclined to think this digit down in row 9, column 6 is a 4 or a 2. So if I knew which one I thought it was likely to be, I could work on the other possibility and see if I could quickly eliminate it. But it's difficult, I think, here. So if that's a 4, this is a 9. We've got these highlighted 9s, a 6, 8 there. I don't think it quite does enough to really get the juices flowing here. Oh, rats. It'd be difficult for this to be a 1 because you'd have a 9-8 pair remaining in the box. No, I don't quite get where I'm meant to be looking next. It's certainly not clear at all at this point. It's a very interesting puzzle, I have to say that. But I'm struggling a bit. Now I'm pondering 2 on this Renban. It could clearly be there or there, I think. I suppose it could be here as well. Oh, is it worth doing a sort of set thing on... It probably isn't. But I'm just going to have a quick think about columns 4, 5, 6, which must contain 3 sets of 1 to 9, and the 2 Renbans, which must contain 2 sets. Now, the Renbans also go into these 5 cells. But of course, there are a lot of cells in the central boxes that aren't on the Renbans. Those 14 cells. Now, I think what I'm saying is that those 14 cells will contain a set of the digits 1 to 9 and the 5 digits that are on the Renbans outside. So this is going to be difficult to characterize without getting rid of the colors. So let's do that. Let's get rid of the colors. I can go back to that if necessary. I'm going to color these up as bright blue. So that's 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9 because each column must have that. Then if I color these Renbans in, what's a good contrasting color? Red. That's 2 sets of the digits 1 to 9. Then I eliminate the ones that are part red and part blue, counting them once each, because they must be in both sets. And now the blues must be the 1 remaining set of the digits 1 to 9, plus the 5 red cells. So I could eliminate 2 1s in colour terms. Now, the blues are, there are the high digits of a set of 1 to 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think this is actually going to help, is it? I don't know. It almost is. Okay, here's something I'm thinking. If this was a 2, then... well, there's 1, 2 in the set of digits in the blue. Remember, in the blue cells, there's a set of 1 to 9. There's also the 4 red cells. So one of those posited 2s is from the set of 1 to 9. But another one would have to go, if that was another 2, then a 2 would have to go in at least one of the red cells. That's not that helpful because, annoyingly, you could actually put even 2 more in. So, okay, I don't think that was quite the way to do it. So I'm going back to the original colour scheme. But it was an interesting excursion. Might have taught us something for later if I'm any good at learning lessons. Right, let's go back to the thought about one of these is a 7. Oh, we now know that is a 2. So if that was a 7, that would also be a 2, and that would have to be a 2. And this would have to be 987. So if that was a 7, that's where I started on this trail, then that has to be a 7. And that's an 8-9 pair. And now this is a 7-8-9 triple. We've also got an 8-9 pair in this column. That feels quite pressured, especially as that 7 has also forced this to be 8 or 9. So I'm starting by positing a 7 here, and that creates a 2 here, and that creates 8, 9 in all of these places. And there, that will have to be the other 8 or 9 in column 7. Now, how are we getting 8 and 9 on the Renbans? We've got the 2 on the right-hand Renban already. Not sure on the left. There do seem some places. I'm thinking of actually 3 places, maybe even 4 where 8 and 9 can go. So that doesn't get it done. This would have become a 6. I think it is difficult for this to be a 2, but I haven't quite proved it impossible. But this is now my favourite action here, is to remove the 2 possibility from here. So what I mean is, I think it's worth carrying on thinking about this being a 2, because that's where we're going to run into some trouble. But I haven't quite established the trouble yet. We get 7, 8, 9 in all of these cells. That's the 7. This is 8 or 9. That becomes 6. What does that do? Oh, 6 only had the yellow cell possibilities. Why did I think that? Oh, that's on this Renban, is it? Was it 6 I was looking at in the yellow cells? Why didn't I think 6 could be there? It's not on the Renban. Okay. Why didn't I think 6 could be there? Because it's in one of those 2. Okay, that was genuine. So, if that's a 2, which makes this a 7 and that an 8, 9 pair, this becomes 6. And that has become a 6. One, 6, 8, 9 has, oh, that's become a 2. So 2's got quite difficult to place on the right-hand Renban. With that being a 2 and that being a 2, all of these cells are ruled out from being a 2. Oh, that's very interesting. Therefore, making this a 6 makes this a 2. Then this cage has 2 cells that add up to 8 in it. The other 2 cells add up to 11, and you can't do that with 2, 9 or 6, 5 anymore. So you'd have to do it with 3, 8 or 4, 7. But this is getting quite complicated, and I don't think those are constrained out of the puzzle at all. So maybe there's something more happening on the Renban. I mean, we've got quite a lot happening on it. If that's a 2, we end up with 2, 6, an 8, 9 pair, and a 1, obviously, on the Renban. Everything else is 3, 4, 5, or 7. 7 is going to have to be in the 17 cage. Along with digits that make up 10, but without containing a 1 or a 2. Yeah, okay, that doesn't work. That is pretty complicated, but in a Joseph Neumann puzzle, that is not shocking. So, here is my chain of logic from the start, and I think this works. We get a 2, if we posit a 2 here, in row 9, column 6, where it is possible, that has to become, you see, and there's where the logic breaks down immediately, because I always thought that had to be a 7. Okay, let's start with positing a 7 here. That's what I'm doing. That's better. If we posit a 7 here, good thing we started this again. If we posit a 7 in row 8, column 5, that makes this a 2. Then this has to be a 9, 8, 7 combo. But 2 now goes there in box 5. And the only place it can go on the right-hand renban is now here. Because of the 987 that's gone into the 26 page cage, the only place for 6 in column 6 is here. And now we posited a 7 in row 8, column 5. That's where we started this chain. So the 7 on the right-hand renban is now in the 17 cage. Therefore, the other 3 digits in the 17 cage make up 10, but they can't have a 2 in because the 2 in the column 6 and 7 are there and there. They can't have a 1 in because the 1s are there and there, and therefore you cannot get those other 3 digits to add up to 10. So that is not a 7. I mean, that is complicated. If there's something simpler, tell me in the comments. I'd be interested. But now the 7 in column 5 is here. And let's hope that does something for the puzzle. Although I fear it absolutely won't. But I have worked it out, and I think it was quite exciting. That's how my mind works. I find that exciting. It really isn't doing anything instant for the rest of the puzzle, is it? I mean, I'm sort of vaguely thinking about 7 in column 4 as having to be there or there. And it's not exciting me. Should I be using the 6 here for more than I have been? I don't think so. 6 on this renban, I mean, it's interesting to eliminate it from that cell, but it doesn't get anything done. It could be there, there, or there, I reckon. Oh, Mr. 7, you were a false friend. I thought you were going to be so helpful, and I couldn't have been further off the mark. Right, this is 8 or 9. Now, if that's a 4, this could be 976. If that happened, because there's a 6 in one of those cells, this would be a 6. And that would be a 9-7 pair. So if that's a 4, that's a 6. This is a 9-7 pair. That must become a 9. It's not quite useful enough to do anything with. It just isn't. It just isn't. Those can't be 6. I left this blooming yellow cell can be 6. That's its whole reason for being yellow. Why won't it help a bit more? Okay, I am going to think about 2 on the left-hand renban, which can't be in any of those cells because of the 2 we've placed in row 3. So 2 on this left-hand renban is in one of those 3 cells, which I suppose takes 2 out of that cell. Which is odd. There's no chance that's going to place 2 on the right-hand renban. I don't think there is, but it's worth a check. That can't be a 2 in this cage. It wouldn't add up to enough. I don't know. One of those could be a 2. In fact, no. now I'm getting mixed up about whether I'm considering 2 on the Renban or 2 in the column. So it was 2 on the Renban. That's not a 2 by Sudoku. That could be a 2. So 2 on the right-hand Renban would either be there or in one of those 2 cells. It would be fabulous to rule that out. Because if I could definitely say it was in one of those 2 cells. Oh, hang on, did I get to the point? Yes, that was it. I was really onto something when I was thinking about this containing a 7, because it then couldn't lack a 1 and a 2. But it can't lack a 1 and a 2 anyway. Now, what I'm saying now is, if you didn't have a 2 in this cage, because we know you can't have a 1, the minimum digits would be 3, 4, 5, 6. That adds up to 18, which is too many. So there is a 2 in this cage somewhere. But does it have to be on the Renban? And the answer is no. It could be in one of those cells. Then the 2 on the right-hand Renban would have to be there. So that can never be a 2. 2 in the cage is in one of those 3 cells. That is a crying shame. If I can get it to one of those 2, I can eliminate it from there and know where 2 goes in the central column. But 2 could still be here. So either 2 is in one of those cells, in which case it's not there and is there, or 2 is in that cell. And either way, this can't be a 2 down at the bottom. That is extraordinary, but I think this is right. 2 can't be here. We've worked that out because the 2 on the Renban is in one of those 3. So it's not there. My goodness, this is definitely right. Therefore, 2 in this cage is either there, which stops that being a 2, or it's either there or there, which stops that being a 2 and makes that a 2, or it's here. And both of those possibilities for 2 stop that being a 2. In fact, I can put 2 in a corner mark for the box, although that is going to confuse me with why I've put a 2 in the corner of this cell. I'm going to put a 2 here as well, because I know that 2 in the 17 cage is in one of those places. Anyway, this down at the bottom is now a 4, which was what I was thinking the whole time, but it's nice to establish it. It's probably now going to do absolutely nothing else. Well, it takes 4 out of those 2 cells. Taking 4 out of that cell also takes the 4 out of that cell, because the 2 reds add up to 8. I've remembered that. Now 4 in box 2 is in one of those 2 places. Not very exciting. This cage contains either 985 or 976. And it's going to duplicate the 9 and one other digit with that cage. This cage has a 2 in it. What are the other 3 cells that add up to 15? I was going to say we can't have a 3 and a 4, but we could if they were both in this column. Oh, good grief. Come on. 4. That can't be a 4 by Sudoku. So the 4 in the central column is now in one of those 2 cells, which stop both of those 2 being 4s. How exciting is that? Not very, is my instinct. Not very. I mean, we do still have to get 4 on this Renban. If it was in the 17 cage with a 2, the other 2 cells would add up to 11, would be either 8, 3, or... They couldn't be 6... Well, they could be 6... No, they couldn't be 6, 5. None of these can be a 6. Ah, there is no 6 in the 17 cage. So there's no 1, and there's no 6 in it, and there's no 9 in it. Yeah, there's no 6 in those cells because there is a 6 in one of those 2, and we've got these 2 6s to rule out 6 from those. So that's more interesting than most things I've found out. So the 17 cage doesn't have 1, 6 or 9. So it's made up from 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Oh, that's too many digits to work on. They add up to 29. We're going to have to take out 3 of those that add up to 12. Well, if I'm right with my maths, we can't take out 8. Hang on. I'm just going to use this cell as an aide-memoire. So I've worked out that this cage doesn't have a 1, a 6 or a 9 in. A 1 because we've got 1s there and there. A 6 because we've got 6s there, there and 1 there. A 9 because we've got a 9 there and a 9 there. That uses up the 9s for the columns. So the remaining digits that we can make up the 17 cage from are 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. That is only 6 digits. Bother, I miscounted. So the digits that don't go into this cage are 2 of these digits that add up to 12, because they add up to 29. And therefore, it's either 8, 4 that doesn't go into this cage, or 5, 7. And 2 and 3 definitely do go into this cage. There is also a 3 in it, which is not in that column. It's in one of these 2 cells. 3 on this Renban now is either there or there. And they're both seeing that central cell, which is not a 3. 3 in the central column is now there or there. They stop that being a 3, which probably doesn't matter at all. I'm not really interested in that. But we've got 2 and 3 in this cage, along with either 4, 8 or 5, 7. If it's 4, 8, one of those is a 4. In fact, that is a 3, 4 pair. And that must be a 2, 8 pair. And then that will become a 9. 3, 1, 2, 8, 9, 4. We've got 5, 6, and 7 left for the column. Oh, this is so complicated, Joseph. What am I, 38 minutes in? It's very hard. Right, so 3, 4 there, 8, 2 here is possible. Or it's 2, 3, 5, 7. And I think I have less insight into how they would get distributed. 2, 3, 5, 7 there. Those would both have to be from 2, 5 or 7. So these are definitely from 2, 5, 7 and 8. I'm going to write that in. This one can't be a 7 just by Sudoku. 4, 1, oh goodness gracious. This 2 is 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Not 6. We worked that out somehow because of where 6 has to go on the Renban. So 5, 7, 8 or 9, I am writing that in, it seems. Can't control my fingers when they see pencil mark possibilities sometimes. Wow, there must be some fairly simple way of seeing something that I've not managed to do. But it's hard to pick out what's right here, it really is. Now, we learnt that one of those 2 is a 2. And did that have any impact anywhere else? Yeah, if it's that's a 2 in the 17 cage, then the 2 on the Renban must go there. These other cells in the 19 cage would have to add up to 17. That doesn't seem like a helpful total to me. There's some simple question I don't know how to ask or answer. I don't know what it is either. Oh. This is vicious now. We know there's a 3 in one of those two cells, so that can't be 3. Do we know there can't be a 2 in this cage? I think very unlikely. That, well, there's a 2 there, so they can't be a 2. Just thinking if we could rule 1 into this, it would get something done. Not a lot, actually. Probably not a worthwhile goal. Now, let's go back here. These are either 985 or 987. If they were 985, whatever's there would also be there. I must need to think about this Renban more. But it's very hard to work out what's going on it. It's still only got one actual full digit on that Renban, just like the other, weirdly. But there's some perfectly simple question like, where does 3 go? That will do some damage somehow. One of those is a 3. So if that's a 3, that's a 3. Then there would be a 3 in the 19 cage. Maybe it's about where the 3 would go on the left-hand Renban. I don't think it is, but these things have to be considered. Ah, okay, one of those two is a 3, so that's not a 3, because that one sees it horizontally and that on the Renban. And that's not a 3, because they're both in the same box. So, neither of those could be a 3. That's not a 3 because it's in the same box as a 3. So, 3 on the left-hand Renban is now in one of those 4 cells. I thought I had eliminated something else, but I don't think I have. It's very likely to be here. Where does that put 3 on the right-hand Renban? I think it puts it there. That doesn't work because you can't put a 3 into box 5. That's extraordinary. Right, if 3 was here, that's not a 3. The 3 on the right-hand Renban is going to have to go there. And then the 3 in box 5 ends up also on the left-hand Renban, as it were, or literally nowhere, because it's not allowed there. So that is not a 3 down here. And the 3 in this box, which we limited to the 2 places because of the central column, is now there. Now this is not a 3, but there is a 3 in this cage, and it's there. I mean, that is hard-won stuff, and it's probably not going to do anything. But still, one of those 2 in the central column is now a 2, and that is the only 2 to go on the left-hand Renban. Now, where's 3 on the left-hand Renban? It's not there, there, or there. There is a 3 in one of those 2 cells, so that's not a 3. So the 3 on the Renban is either there or there. Isn't it? It is. So there is a 3 on the 19, well, and therefore there's no 3 here. Yeah, I think this is right. The 3 on the left-hand Renban, because of these 2, can't be in any of those cells. Because of that one, it can't be there, and it's certainly not there. It's not there because of the 3 in box 2. So the 3 on the left-hand Renban is in one of those 2 cells, and by the rules of Killer, this is not a 3. Now the 3 in the central box has to be there. Just going to add a little colour. And that's in the 19 cage, but it's also placed the 3. Probably is not worth a bean. But at least it's another number placed on a Renban, and we know the 2 is in one of those cells on the left-hand Renban. This is what Joseph Neumann puzzles do to one. Ah, one of these 2 is a 4. So where is 4? That's going to place it on one of the Renbans, obviously. It's going to rule it out of those 2 cells. So this is not a 4. So this cage is not the option which had the 4 in, which was 2, 3, 4, 8. So it is the other option, which was 2, 3, 5, 7. Did I know that one of those was a 2? I'm not going to claim I did, but we know that this cage is 2, 3, 5, 7. So with those digits, that's using up one set of the digits, 1 to 9, in these 2 columns. This is either 985 or 976. And therefore, this cage does not have a 9 in it. It has either 5 or 7, either 8 or 6. And it definitely has a 4 in it, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. And there's another number that it definitely has in it, which I think is a 2. Yes, it does. So it has a 4 and it has a 2 in it somewhere. And that 2 is not in this cell because of this. So it's in one of those. So that's now a 4-2 pair. That one is now not a 2. We've got a 2-4 pair. 3, 1. Come on, 6. These add up to 13. So with a 5, 7 or 8 there, this is 8, 6 or 5. Sorry about the dog barking. Neighbour's dog. Never knowingly under control. I'm joking. That doesn't quite finish off this cage. 2 and 4 are there. There's definitely a 6 there. 3 and 1. These are from 9857. Oh, come on. I think if I could just sit... Oh, do excuse me for a second. Okay, don't excuse me. That's good. So, is it this Renban? This Renban might be yielding stuff now. Yeah, look, there's a 2, 4, 5, 7 quad on the Renban. Yes. So, apart from those and the 1, 3 that are already placed, everything else is 6, 8 or 9. That is 6 or 8. These two added up to 13, so that's not an 8. This is 6, 8 or 9. I'm still focusing up here. If that's a 4, that's a 2 on the Renban. If that's a 5, this is 7, that's 6. Now that doesn't work, because that makes these two not add up to 13. If that's a 5, that's a 7, 6 is there, and that has to be 8, and those two add up to 15 and break the cage. So that's a 4. And that isn't. That's 4 on the Renban, so this is 2. Let's keep going on the Renban. This is 5, that's 7. In the cage, this is 2. That makes this a 5 by Sudoku. This has become something, it's a 7. That's become a 4. We can add up the cage, and that's a 6. That's a 5. This is an 8, 9 pair at the top. I'm not going to have to get that door, I don't think. That's not a 6, that's 8 or 9. This cage now, that's not a 5. We're going to be able to do the other Renban, I think, now. This is getting exciting. Which, no, I was going to say it's got an 8, 9 pair on it. It hasn't. 3, 7, 1, 6, 5. 2 in the central box. That's just Sudoku. Been available for a little while. Oh, the 2 reds added up to 8, so that's a 3. Let's get rid of the red colouring now. And the yellow, because we found the 6. And this can't have a 6 in. This is a 985 cage. It's taken me a long time to see that. And there's an 8, 9 pair looking at that cell, so that's the 5. This is 9 or 8. Now, I'm going to get rid of all the colouring actually, because I think it's done its job. And I might want to colour 8s against 9s. I think I do, because they're looking interesting. Let's do green against orange. That one's green. Oh, I thought the Renban was going to teach me something. That's orange in the column. That's green. The wrong shade of green. That one's green. And we've got a 4 and an orange 8 or 9 here. And these are 6 and 7 by all kinds of Sudoku. So these add up to 9, and they're not 6, 3 or 7, 2. They're 4, 5 or 1, 8. Now, come on, Renban. Yes, 5 makes that an 8. Did the job instantly. Oh, we did get a 1 there, so that's not a 1. Now, 5, 8, that can't be 8. I'm looking at this Renban. Look, that's become a 9, and that's all the green cells on the Renban. That's right. Okay, so those ones are 8s. Those oranges. Job done with the colouring. Excellent. That's a 6, 8 pair. I want to say we're going to finish off. I don't know that that is the case at this point. That has become a 4 by Renban. And then we have a 6, 7 pair left. That's the 6, that's the 7. That fixes 8 and 6 there. This is an 8, and look at that. Surely I can finish column 3 now. These two add up to 9. Oh no, let's do this one first. It is a 2 by maths. Those are a 9, 7 pair. And this is a 5, 4 pair. I can finish off those columns. Now, we're down to classic Sudoku. Surely I can do some of that, you would think. I think that has to be a 6 in box 4. Then that's the 3 in row 5. That's a 4, 5 pair. That's now a 2, 9 pair. So I can place 1 and 8. This is a 4, 5 pair. That's a 1, 8 pair. 5 in row 7 is there. That's a 4, 7 pair. That's a 3, 6 pair. That's 8 and 2. 7 and 9 here. 2 and 4 here. Yes, 5 in this row is done. Then I can do 9, 3. 6, 9 up here. Nice. That's a 7, 8 pair. That's 1 and 2. And we must be able to sort out all of these pairs somehow. Let's start with that 2. 2, 9, 9, 6, 6, 3, 3, 7, 7, 4, 4, 5. And as we enter the home straight, we've got a 5 there. So 5, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, 1, 8. What a remarkable puzzle. 7, 7, 9. Thank you, Joseph Neumann, for your incredible va-et-vient. That is brilliant. I mean, what an intriguing puzzle. 278 people have done it in the 12 days. Intriguing. I hope more will do it now, because that comes and goes like a crazy thing. Brilliant stuff. Just under the hour in solving times. Maybe the video will go just over. But an absolute pleasure to get a chance to do another tough Joseph Neumann puzzle on the channel. Hope you had fun with it. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Do join us for more. And bye for now.